Assalamu alaikum, friends. My name is Sadia, and today I am going to share the story of one of my friends. It is a story that may bring tears to your eyes, but it will also restore your faith in humanity. This is the story of a man named Shezad. Shezad was about 56 years old. He was not a wealthy man. He did not own land, a business, or any valuable property. The only treasures he had were his two sons, Ijaz and Fayaz, for whom he was willing to sacrifice everything. Every morning, before sunrise, Shezad would leave his home to work. Sometimes he carried bricks, sometimes cement, and sometimes he unloaded goods from trucks. He spent his entire day working under the scorching sun. In the evening, he would come home for just 1 hour. He would eat a meal, take a bath, and then go out again in search of more work. He was determined to earn enough money to provide a better future for his sons. People often asked him, "Shezad, why do you work so hard?" He would smile and reply, "I am building a future for my sons." Years passed. Shezad denied himself comfort so that his children could have a better life. He made sure they received a good education, wore decent clothes, and never felt deprived of anything. His wife also worked in other people's homes to support the family and help their children succeed. Eventually, Ijaz and Fayaz grew up and became adults. Shezad was happy. He believed that the years of sacrifice and hard work would finally pay off, but fate had something else planned for him. One day, both sons sat their father down. Ijaz said coldly, "Father, this house belongs to us now." Fayaz added, "And we can no longer carry the burden of supporting you and mother." At first, Shezad thought they were joking, but a few moments later, they handed him a small bag containing his clothes. His wife began to cry. Shezad pleaded with them. But both sons had hearts as hard as stone. Within minutes, the elderly couple found themselves standing outside the very house they had spent their entire lives building. The doors were closed behind them. The same house whose every brick had been paid for with their sweat and sacrifice no longer welcomed them. With no other choice, Shezad's wife began working as a housemaid again. And Shezad returned to daily labor despite his old age and failing health. Life became difficult, but they kept moving forward. One day, Shezad found work as a gardener at a large and luxurious house. The property was magnificent. There were expensive cars, beautiful gardens, and signs of wealth everywhere. While watering the plants, a young man suddenly came running toward him. The moment the young man saw Shezad, tears filled his eyes. To Shezad's surprise, the young man fell at his feet. Startled, Shezad asked, "Son, who are you?" The young man replied through tears, "Don't you recognize me, Baba Ji?" Shezad looked carefully but could not remember him. Then the young man said, "My name is Imran." The name immediately brought back memories. Many years earlier, there had been a little boy named Imran who begged on the streets. People ignored him. Many insulted him. But one day, Shezad stopped and spoke to him kindly. Instead of giving him money to beg with, Shezad spent his entire day's earnings, just 500 rupees, on buying him some snacks and small items to sell. Then he told the boy, "Son, it is better to sell something than to stretch out your hand and beg." Imran listened. He started selling those small items on the roadside. Slowly, he saved money. Then he bought more goods. Soon he had a small cart. Later, he opened a shop. Then another shop. And then another. Years of hard work transformed his life. Today, Imran was one of the most successful businessmen in the city. Tears streamed down Imran's face as he said, "Baba Ji, if you had not spent those 500 rupees on me that day, I would probably still be begging on the streets." Shezad stood silently, overwhelmed with emotion. Imran took his hand and led him inside the house. Then he called his staff and said, "From today onward, this man is my father." Soon afterward, Shezad's wife was brought there as well. A comfortable room was prepared for them. Imran took care of all their needs. He brought their medicines, shared meals with them, and treated them with love and respect. For the first time in many years, the elderly couple felt valued and secure. Several months later, Ijaz and Fayez learned that their parents were living comfortably in the home of a wealthy businessman. Filled with regret, they came to apologize. They stood before their father with lowered heads. For the first time in his life, Shezad looked at them firmly and said, "My sons, people are not removed from a house. They are removed from the heart. You threw us out of your hearts long before you threw us out of your home." Neither son had a reply. They stood there in silence. Beside Shezad stood Imran, the boy who had once been a beggar and was now his greatest support. That day, everyone learned an important lesson. Children are not defined by blood alone, they are defined by their character. And sometimes, the person on whom you spend a single day's earnings becomes the one who supports you for the rest of your life. The end. Red Heart.